This is an electronic mug. It's got a coaster. Boom. It's called an Ember. It interfaces with my phone, with an app of course. I can control the temperature and keep it consistent. I could heat up my coffee or tea. I could keep it consistent temperature. So I can just set this motherfucker right here. And I don't have to worry about my coffee getting cold. Now that might not seem like a big deal to you. It's a huge deal. It is like a life-changing thing. Now I've got to give a shout out to Judith and Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you guys. They got me this after seeing the first episode of Something Bunkum, where I complained about having to microwave my coffee. It tastes like victory. Yeah. So this episode is all about the equipment for these episodes, and really for all the stuff that rrible or terrible does. So all the short films, web series, etc., etc., etc. This is the stuff that I use. My equipment. And going into hardware and software. Here's my list. You can see it's color-coded. Alright. What the hell am I doing? So we're going to talk about hardware first. The first thing is the Ember. Boom. Yes. Victory. The second thing is an ESDDI LED video light, right? So I guess that's SD video light. This thing's actually pretty cool. So it's the light that's actually going on these books back here that I'm highlighting. It's the one that I have. I think it has 3 or 4 filters. I can't remember. Or you could call them gels, I suppose. It provides a diffusion for the light, so it's soft light instead of hard light. If you're into lighting, then you know what all that means. The new one has an extra filter or 2, and it's a solid light bulb. It's all LEDs. All of the LEDs are white. They're I want to say it's true color, true sunlight, so 55K. That's really, in my opinion, that's really what you want, because if you get those LEDs that have 300 lights, but 150 of them are orange and the other 150 are white, then you're really only getting half the lumens when you want one solid color. Anyway, it's a solid light. Second thing I use is NEEWER lights. That's NEEWER. Yes, the stands are made of plastic and metal. They're a little tiny bit flimsy, as in compared to like one of those heavy-duty, just Haas stands. Man, so long as you take care of your stuff, I love these lights. They use CFLs. Those are those big Haas light bulbs that have the coil. And you don't want to break those because I believe they have mercury in them. And I paired that up with an LED bulb. And I had actually gone onto YouTube and done some, reviews for what's a good light bulb. Yeah. This LED bulb, I mean, this thing is Haas. It looks like a big dildo. No, it looks... It's like if you fucked up a disco ball or something. The odd thing about it is it gets hot. I was a little leery about that, but I've had it on for several hours before whilst filming, and I've never had a problem. And it's not crazy luminescent, right? As in, I kind of expected it to be, I'm looking at it right now, I kind of expected it to fill an entire room, and it won't. But if you have, your 2 tower lights, you could have 2 keys if you wanted. It works fine. And then there's also a third rim lighting and that kind of stuff. Is that the right word? Backlighting is really whatever. I'm not an actual photographer. Anyway, oh my god. Oh god. Right, I'm using for the stand that I'm keeping my camera on an Archon tripod. It has been solid. You can scrunch up the legs and hold it around and move it around like so you're not just holding your camera, right? And it gives a little bit more stability, or you can sit it on a desk like I'm doing. It's got the little wrappy, tripod, from War of the World legs, those kinds of things. So supposedly you can wrap them around weird, fixtures and such. I have not particularly done that. The one problem that I had with this Archon tripod is there's an extra piece, and I didn't understand why this extra piece was there. It's like a quick release or something, but in my opinion, it just makes it more complicated. It's plastic, so if it breaks, I can't use the tripod. You know? Okay, so I'm also using a power bar. Now, that seems pretty obvious, but this power bar, I have no idea where we got it.
There she is, Captain.
See, my dad was a science teacher back in like the 70s and 80s and 90s. I think he got one of those power bars you would find in a science room. This thing's cool as hell. It's like all old and stuff. Anyway, I'm using that. It is proven having a power strip when you go somewhere is huge because the newer lights are all wired. So there's a problem with that, of course, right? Obviously, you have to be near an outlet. But I do like the idea you don't have to charge the batteries, and batteries be expensive. Let me drink some of this Ember coffee. Wow, I think that's about it. I use an iPhone 6S for my camera. I know that's like broke as a joke, but it works. I'm editing down on a MacBook Air. The newer one's the one that has stalled several times on Final Cut Pro. We'll get there. Software. For software, I'm editing down on Final Cut Pro X or 10, and it's the latest version, whatever. I like it a lot. It took me a while to get used to, I guess, the new way, but there's a wealth, and that's right, a wealth of tutorials on YouTube if you need that kind of thing. Boop, there we go. I was using DaVinci Resolve 16 color grading, and DaVinci Resolve 16 is great. It's free. You can do compositing, very similar things that you could do with After Effects on DaVinci Resolve. But I will tell you this, it has a different way of saving the files. It's a great program. I will probably use it on certain projects because, boom, it is way good at color grading. That said, Final Cut Pro gets the job done. I'm also using Discord. That's what I'm going to use to do live streaming eventually. For the screen captures, I'm using QuickTime Player because you can screen capture with it, and it's very simple, very straightforward to use. The thing about Discord is it's got that low latency. It was made for gaming. It has all the stuff built in. You to do video calls between multiple people, so imagine Zoom or Skype just on steroids. Discord for the win. Also, you can set up your own server. I hope that it continues to be free and the way that they do it, because I really enjoy it. Right, I put the iPhone 6S in the software. Why? This program is called Filmic Pro. It was around $15, $16. It's an app you can get. There's an interface that allows you to know what's in focus, what's not, what's too dark, what's too bright, as well as frame rate per second, all kinds of stuff. And it gives you a lot more control than the native app does on iOS. Wow, I think that's it. So that's quite a few different things. Oh, I forgot. The microphone. Why did I not have the microphone written down? Yes. The Rode Video Mic Me. This plugs into your phone. It's a shotgun mic. I've been pleased with it, especially since I use my phone to do everything. Initially, I was like, oh, I'll plug it into my computer. It doesn't work on your computer. There might be a dongle or something, some sort of attachment. This microphone has those on the pins, 1/4 inch. Normal 1/8 inch connectors have two little circle things, and those are for stereo, left and right channel. Okay, so I was completely wrong. I have corrected my erroneous ways by checking out the site, which is right here. It's gonna be right there. It's called Headphonesty. Yeah. But anyway, it's a very robust site. All the stuff that I got wrong. Suffice to say, the circles are actually called black bands, and they're there for insulation. So the actual conduction is in between the black bands. Something for iOS actually is a 4 conductor. It has to do with balanced and unbalanced audio. Do you have a microphone integrated? Is it just output in? Bleh. If you want to understand audio and how it all works, clearly I need to check it out too. Anyway, that's my update. Oh yeah, I'm using these too. These are just Sony headphones. With that right there. I was using this clip. It just broke. Well, wait, did it break? going cheap. Oh yeah, it totally broke. Weird. I wonder if I could still put... It's magnetic. Let's put this guy... I wonder if it can still hold. Sort of precariously placed, whatever. That's where that shit goes. Right, the Rode Video Mic Me. It works very well. It doesn't really work with a MacBook Air. Then again, whatever. The next steps. So, I'm thinking audio is probably the more important. It's the least expensive thing. I need to get a better camera for the short films and such that, you know, I need to up my camera game. The second thing though is getting perhaps some sort of audio recorder and then a microphone, probably with an arm, so that, you know, some kind of arm that it holds and has the pop filter. That way you don't get, you know, like knocking sounds and all that. So those are my two ideas. I think that's it. Yep, that's it.